And then the next day comes and it's the same thing. And the next day comes and it's the same thing. And then the next day comes and it's the same thing. This is left side of the brain. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you may be in, I would like to send a salutation of blessings to each and every one of you Jaguars. Let's get it in for the huddle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jaguars up. Now, what I want to talk to y'all about today, I had an enlightening this morning like never before. And when I received this enlightening, my soul felt crystal clear. It was like a burden lifted off of my shoulders. It was like a burden lifted off of my chest. What I was given this morning was the solution to every world problem. It was the solution to anything that you may be going through. What I'm going to tell you today is the diagnosis that can heal all world problems, from racism to depression, stealing, killing, jealousy, envy, strife, covetousness. What I was given this morning was the antidote to cure all of the world problems. But you listening, you would have to be able to accept it for what it is. And I'm going to start out by saying how the revelation came about. Okay? For those of you who don't know or you're not familiar with the channel, this is Left Side of the Brain, and we call each other Jaguars because many of you are viewing these videos for the first time, and that's fine. And since this is your first time, I will ask you to go ahead and hit the likes button, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And on this channel, let me tell you something about this channel. It's not like any other channel on YouTube. This is more than just a YouTube channel. This is a classroom. This is where all of the regular subscribers come to get their daily dose of inspiration. We teach practicality and we teach spiritual growth and betterment, spiritual growth and spiritual betterment every day. That's what we focus on this channel. This is not like any other channel on YouTube. We don't cut no corners and we don't cut no slack. And the regular subscribers already know how we do. Now, without further ado, let me get into how I came about this revelation this morning. Now, I was on my bed. I was, you know how you wake up in the morning and you still, kind of sleepy, but you're still in your bed? Well, that's what I was doing. I was laying in the bed, had my head laid back on the pillow, and I was just thinking. And all these thoughts, they just started coming to me. And I was just meditating. And a thought came to my mind. And the word that came to my mind was helplessness. Helplessness and validation. Those are the two words that came to my mind. And I started putting it together. And I started to put it together. I said to myself, I woke up this morning, and then that thought was followed up by this. What is the reason for me leaving the house today. Okay? And I thought about something. I said, when I'm in public, when I leave this house today, now I was thinking about all of this stuff. I'm trying to put it together the best way that I can. And I said to myself, when I leave this house today and I'm out in the public, when I wave at somebody, when I say hey and hello, or when I just pick up the phone and call somebody for a conversation, what does that mean? And it came to me like this. That means a cry for help, a cry for validation, a cry to be noticed. Every conversation that we have, down to the smallest hello and hi, the base of all of that is this right here. Wanting to be noticed and validated. And I took it all the way back to God himself. And I said to myself, God created people. Why? What was the purpose? What was the reason? And then it was followed up with this. The only reason that God made people for was to validate himself, to validate his existence. And I thought about it. I said, I'm getting these life lessons. Since we've been doing this channel, since I've been uploading these videos, touching on these different topics, the whole purpose for this journey is getting to the point where we can be self-validated. I thought about everything. I said, what is the purpose for, like mundane conversations with people? What is the purpose for, better yet, it came to me like this. I said, when a person says to himself, I want to pursue a certain career. I want to be an actor. I want to be a singer. I said to myself, why does that person need other people to feel like they have accomplished something? For instance, if a person says, I want to be an actor, they can just look in the mirror and act. Look at their own reflection and just be an actor. They don't need anybody to validate them. But they do, because most likely, most people need the acceptance of their peers and everybody else in the world around them. So they won't be satisfied with just being an actor, just looking in the mirror. Or what if that person wanted to be a singer? They could very well just look in the mirror and sing a song. But that's not good enough for most people. So I started to put it all together, and I said to myself, the reason why people live and want to live every day is because of other people. People don't wake up for the sake of just waking up. They don't. People get up and do the things that they do for the sake of other individuals. Now, everybody would deny that, but it's true. I said to myself, even someone would make the excuse and say, like for instance, if you compete in athletics, you would say, the reason why I want to do this is because I want to challenge myself. I want to be the best that I can be. But even if that was your excuse for why you want to enter a competition with other people, you are still using other people to validate you getting better. Why do you need to feel like you won? Why can't you feel self-completion that you have already won? Why do you need someone in lane 2, in lane 3, in lane 4? The competition mindset that we have based in egotism. I started to put it all together. I said egotism is what drives everything a person does. Make no doubt about it. Without your ego, you wouldn't want to get up in the morning. That's because you are spiritually immature. Think about it. And as I continued to think, and as the revelation kept building, I said to myself, this spiritual immaturity, it goes all the way back to when you was a child. And remember those two words I started out with, helplessness and validation. It goes back to when you was a child, when you was at your most helpless point and you needed your mother's breast milk. You needed the sound of your mother's voice to give you assurance that you were safe and okay. You needed that validation from your parents that you were safe and okay. But as we grew up, many of us still have that baby mind inside of our conscience. We haven't grown past it. And that's why we can't just deal with solitude and be satisfied within our own self. Because peace needs no validation. Seeking refuge in others to make you feel complete means you still have spiritual growth to do. To be a monk, Jaguars, you have to embrace this concept even further. But I haven't got to the good part yet. This is good, but the really good part, we're getting to it. Each and every one of you Jaguars, out of everything that we speak about, out of everything we say, the most important thing is embracing you. Self-awareness without the need of validation from anything outside of yourself. Anything otherwise will lead you on a wild goose chase around this world. Seeking validation in anything outside of yourself leads to many of the problems that we have in this life. Because people are not satisfied. You will never be satisfied. You will never have that peace and that happiness that you are seeking until you can learn how to be at peace by yourself. That's where it starts. And we say, I just seen something. As soon as I said, that's where it starts, that light turned green. That's a synchronicity. And for you new people on this channel, in these videos, we have a lot of spiritual signs that drops during the video. But let's get back to it. You will never be at peace until you learn how to love yourself. And love is an unconditional thing. The real love that I'm speaking about. Learning how to validate yourself without anybody, you can't get no more unconditional than that. Learning how to be happy just by waking up and seeing the sunshine. Learning how to be happy just by waking up and seeing the sunshine. Yes. Needing friends is a cry out for help. Somebody walk past you, they don't speak, you get all mad, you get all upset. Why they acting funny? Why do you need them to validate you? You need that person to validate your existence. That's what it boils down to. That's why you're feeling all salty if somebody does that. Anytime we talk to another person, it's because we feel like we need to be heard. I'm even guilty of that. I'm not saying that we're going to stop talking. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying be more conscious of why you are speaking to people. Be more conscious of why you are engaging with this public world around you. What are the real reasons that you are doing the very things that you do? Is it based in egotism? Or is it based in self-awareness? Is it based in trying to validate yourself by other people? Is that the reason why you want to be a doctor? Is that the reason why you want to be a lawyer? Do you need the validation from others to make you feel complete? Is that why you want to get married? Think about the things that we do and ask yourself, why am I doing this? This is how you keep your actions more pure, if you would. This is how you keep your actions more self-giving without the need for a pat on the back. This is how you come closer to being unconditionally good. I said it in a video before. I said, it was in one of those red light edition videos. And if you know which one I'm speaking about, please write it in the comment section. But I said that we're supposed to be getting closer to how God is. And God, He blesses. And since nothing can bless God, because He is the source of blessings, that means that's how we should be. Unconditionally good. When God bless, He's not expecting anything in return. Just like me making this video, I'm not expecting anything in return. This is freely given. This is unconditional good, what I'm doing right now. I'm just doing it because I want to free up as many people as I can. And I'm not going out my way doing it. I'm just making a video. You receive the knowledge or you toss it. Nothing to argue about. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how I am. Everybody who's been listening to these videos, you know how left side of the brain, how he says things. He's direct. He's on point. He's not going to sugarcoat it. We all got that. So as the revelation continued to spill into my consciousness, it went deeper. And I said to myself, the more that I embrace this journey, this path that I'm on, the more that I embrace it, the more that you can embrace this type of thinking to the point when you wake up in the morning, you feel complete. Now I'm getting to the main. Just hold tight. And so when you wake up in the morning, you'll feel complete. You'll take your shower, you'll feel the sunshine. And as I continue to think, man, I thought about something. I started thinking about validation, and I started thinking about the time that we have in a day. You know how we rush things and we feel like that my life is passing me by because I don't have this at a certain age. I'm not married. I don't have kids by this time in my life. I started thinking about all of that. And then that's when the second part of the revelation was given to me. I said to myself, what is the root for all of the problems in this world? And it came to me like this. The root for all of the problems in this world is time. What do I mean? What you mean, left side of the brain? I ain't never heard you say this before. I thought you said it was egotism. Yes. We're not erasing that. We're not erasing that. What do you mean now? What do you mean now, left side of the brain? Time. What I'm about to tell y'all is the cure for all of the world problems. This is the solution right here. And if you ingest what I'm about to say and make this your new mentality, I'm telling you, your life, everything will be crystal clear. I mean, you're coming and you're going, like all of the problems that you think you have, it'll just disappear. With this new outlook on life that I'm about to tell you. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. And I ask myself this question. Would you rather know the moment that you're going to die? Or would you rather it remain like it is? And when I say like it is, meaning not knowing when you're going to die, just dying abruptly. All of a sudden, you die of old age. You don't know exactly when you're going to die. Would you rather it be like this, or would you rather know the exact time when you are going to die? When you are going to leave this physical body and this earth? And as I thought about it more and more, I said to myself, I asked somebody this question. Mind you, I was on the phone speaking to somebody, and I asked them this question. I said, would you rather know when you was going to die, or would you rather have your life on a clock and you could see the countdown? The person said to me, they said, I would rather it be how it is, meaning not knowing. Okay? I didn't question them any further about it. I responded to what they said by saying this. I said, okay. I said, I would rather see the clock. And they didn't say anything. They just listened. I said, I would rather see the clock ticking. And I'm going to tell you why. What I'm about to say is stop everything you're doing. I want you to really absorb this. This is the solution. This mentality that you have in life, if you take this mentality I'm about to say, this is the solution to all the problems. I said, I would rather see the clock ticking down. And I'm going to tell you why. I said, if we knew the exact moment when we would die, if everybody had a watch on, right? Let's call it in this scenario a life watch. And everybody could look at that watch and they knew how much time they had in life. And the clock was ticking. And they could just look down at their clock and see how much time they had in life. Do you know that would be the cure for all of the world problems. I'm going to tell you why. Everybody would treat everybody good. You know why? Because everybody would be cognizant that their time was fading away. Life would be a celebration. All we would do, there wouldn't be money. It wouldn't be no such thing as money. There wouldn't be no such thing as envy, strife, somebody thinking that they better than somebody else. You know why? Because if you was cognizant of the exact moment when you were to die, you couldn't look at somebody else and say, I'm better than you. Because that person would have a life watch on their wrist, just like you would. And they would look at their wrist and say, I ain't got no time to be hating nobody. A white man or any race of man, a black man, an Asian man, whatever race of man, couldn't look at another man and say, I'm better than you, because he would have a life watch on his wrist ticking down. He couldn't afford to waste any time hating on somebody, saying that I'm better than somebody. A Muslim and a Christian, they couldn't be at odds with each other. They wouldn't have no time to be fighting over who has the right word or not. Because both the Muslim and the Christian would look at their life watch and say to themselves, I don't got time for this. This type of concept, this life watch, it would eliminate all religion. There would be no need for religion. Because everybody would be cognizant of how precious life is. To the point we wouldn't have we wouldn't have time to be hating each other. You see? And say if you was out on a date with a female, you looking at your life watch, she looking at her life watch, and it wouldn't be no need to go out to eat. We running out of time. That's what you'll tell that girl. Look Sally, look Sue, look Jessica, we running out of time. What we gonna do? We gonna go get a hotel room or what? We running out of time. It would even get rid of the games that females play, the dating games, making you wait. Oh, how much money he got. It would get rid of all of that because everybody would be cognizant of how much time they had left in life. And as I thought about it deeper, I likened it to having a candle. Let's just say in this scenario, a storm came and your lights went out. And you had a candle. And that candle, you only had one candle now. And that candle had to last you the entire day. You wouldn't waste that candle. You will only light that candle when you needed it because the candle would be precious to you. So you wouldn't waste that candle wax. You see? Because you will be cognizant of the fact that all you have is one candlestick. And then I put it together more. And I said to myself, that candlestick represents your life. All you have is one life. But you don't think about it like that because we try to sweep under the rug the fact that we are going to die one day. You see? And if we had that life watch on our wrist to tell us what time it is, how many hours I got left in life, a lot of the things that we do, it would eliminate it. So that is the root of the evil in this world. Time, not knowing when you're going to die. Because we don't know exactly, people waste time. People waste other people's time. People play with other people's time. That's why I tell y'all on this channel, I ain't playing. I'm serious about everything I say. This ain't no game for me. This stuff I'm telling you, you think I'm playing? This is real. When your soul is at stake out here in this world. When I wash my face in the morning and I look at myself in the mirror, I'm looking at something that will never be here again. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. You got to take this thing that seriously. You see? And when you start thinking like that, you know what? You know what else that leads to? That leads to you not needing other people for validation. If you knew when you was going to die and you was looking at that wristwatch, you wouldn't be thinking about nobody else, because you would know all you had was the time left in your life on your wristwatch. That's all you would be thinking about. You wouldn't be thinking about somebody else thinking about you, and they wouldn't be thinking about you thinking about them. Everybody would be focused on trying to live the best life that they could live in the little bit of time that they had. That's all you would be concerned about. You wouldn't be concerned about what the next person wearing, what kind of shoes they got on, what kind of car they driving. Nobody would try to be stingy. Nobody would be trying to live in a system where you got to have money. We wouldn't even be thinking about creating no money. We'll be focused on that time. Wouldn't nobody have time to be trying to stress nobody out with money and bills and creating a system where we got to work? It wouldn't make sense then. And it don't make sense now. We just not aware. We're not aware of the fact because we sweep it under the rug. You listening to this video right now, you're getting something right now that you can keep for the rest of your life. What I'm trying to tell you is this is the solution to the world problems right here. It's simple. Just being cognizant of your time. If everybody was cognizant of their time, it would eliminate and erase all of those things that I was saying. All of that evil and all of those problems and all of that pride and all of that trying to be better than somebody else. That's why our channel mascot is a jaguar. You think a jaguar, they live solitude. You think they walking around thinking about what other people think about them? No, because they jaguars. They live in solitude. And I thought about another creature in the environment that doesn't need validation. A spider. A spider lives a life of solitude. It just sits up in its web and it don't need you to validate it. It ain't talking to nobody. That's why I was saying earlier how a lot of times when people talk and trying to just get in conversation and get in the click and everything like that, they trying to get validated. When people trying to be popular and all of that, basically they saying, I want somebody to validate my existence. Validate my existence. Please look at me. Validate me. I don't feel like nothing. I need validation. Can you please validate me? You see? And it's like, we already know these things. We already know these things. And I'm going to give you an example how I know that we already know these things. How do we treat elderly people? For the most part, we treat elderly people good. In rest homes, yeah, you got some weird stuff that takes place in some cases of, vile people who might do some vile things. But for the most part, when you see an elderly person, how do you treat them? See, now I'm about to tie the knot and bring it all in. How do you treat them? For the most part, you treat them good. You know why? Because you recognize that their time is running out. You recognize that a time is running out. So you're not going to, every time you see an old person, oh, hi, Mr. Daniels. Let me get that for you. Let me open that door for you. And you might sit with him and he might tell you his old veteran stories from the war and whatever. You're not going to argue with him. Even if he says something that you don't agree with, you're not going to argue against his point because you realize that he's old. He might be senile. You know what I'm saying? He might not, he's old. His time is winding down. That's proof that we understand this concept that I'm saying. Only thing I'm saying is we have to be more cognizant of the fact that time is precious, time is limited. If everybody started thinking this way and started to tattoo this type of mentality onto their consciousness, this world would change. It would eliminate all problems. Disobedience, children being disobedient to parents, it would eliminate that. It would eliminate every problem you can think of. Hate, anything. Religious strife, North Korea and America fighting each other, anything you can think of. Because everybody will see the clock. I ain't got time for this. That's what you'll be thinking. So that's what I'm saying to you. Start to carry this mentality around with you. Embrace this mentality. This is the solution to all the problems in the world. Just becoming cognizant of time. It will bring about kindness. If people knew exactly when the next person was going to die, everybody would hold the door open for the next person. You would. Just how you treat elderly people. Why you treat elderly people like that and you don't treat young people like that? Because you know that the elderly people, their time is expiring. But a young person's time could be expiring. You don't know. Everybody don't die of natural causes. Some people may die getting hit by a bus. There's all type of fluke accidents that happen which causes death. So it's just not limited to old people. It could be you. You get what I'm saying? So that's the solution to this world problem. I was even thinking about how, people believe in religion, right? But one thing they don't tell you in religion, they don't tell you when the end is going to come. Just like that. If people knew the exact date that the end was going to come, you know how they say God is coming back and he's going to rapture everybody up and all the Christians are going to get caught up in the sky, and, all these different religions teach about certain saviors coming back, but they don't tell you when. And because they don't tell you when, because time is not a factor and they place more emphasis on faith, people think they got all the time in the world to disregard the time that they have. And because of that, they, like the example I gave about the candle, they take their life for granted. Just like if you was in that house and the storm came and you had more than one candle, you would be taking the candle for granted. But guess what? You don't have more than one life. Like you can have more than one candle. You got one life to live. So don't take it for granted and be cognizant of the time that you have. That's why I don't waste y'all time, and I don't expect you to waste my time. See? Because once we leave this journey, that's it. Once we leave this journey, that's it. And this, to me, Not just for me. This is the biggest lesson that you can hear. This is the biggest lesson. This is the solution right here to all the world problems. And if other people don't want to gravitate to it or take hold to it, I'm talking to you, Jack. I'm talking to you, Jack. Yeah. Whether you a female jaguar, because even the female jaguars in nature, they live in solitude. They come together to mate and they go on about their business. So I'm talking to you, male jaguar. I'm talking to you, female jaguar. If you take this mentality on in your life, your day-to-day will change. You'll look at the world differently. From now on, when y'all out in public, imagine that person next to you got that life watch on their wrist. And imagine their time is ticking. And imagine you got that life watch on your wrist. And imagine your time is ticking. And start treating people according to that life watch. And that's what I wanted to leave y'all with today. The solution to all the problems in the world is accepting this mentality. With this mentality, you don't need religion. We don't need none of that. Because this mentality eliminates all of the world problems if you just accept it. It eliminates egotism. It eliminates having to be validated by others. All of that. So I wanted to leave you all with that. If you don't get anything from this channel, take this concept and live by it, swear by it. Because this is a solution to all the problems in the world. And I want to leave you all with that. And before we go, I'd like to say, again, hit the subscribe button, hit the likes button, share this video. Go ahead and add us on Instagram. I'll leave all of that in the description box below. This is Left Side of the Brain. Hope each and every one of you enjoy the rest of your day, the rest of your night. This is Left Side of the Brain, signing out.